Definitely looking for that standard.
And they've called them to the line, and we'll get the gun very shortly.
Yeet.
And they're off. And look at that beautiful shot from above here.
That drone footage.
Yeah. So we got the whole crew right now. We've got Matt McClintock in this race, Sid Vaughn, Willie Milam, Nick Hogger, Joel Rischow, David Melville, Kevin Lewis, Lucas Stallnaker, Jordan Kyle, Zach Zarda. It's a great field here. There's a bunch of guys out there, and they're looking for that 67-second pace for that 28 flat.
Ben Eidenschink, Alex Monroe, Louis Serafini. There's a lot of men in here.
Yeah, as we said, Willie Milam is in this race, but another Zag in this race as well is James Moara. And James Moara he's in college right now in Spokane.
Really?
Yeah, the Zags there, they got a nice little program in the Pacific Northwest. Coached by Pat Tyson, who was Steve Prefontaine's roommate at Oregon.
No.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. And James Moara, who's in the field, actually went to the same high school as Pat Tyson in Tacoma.
Okay.
And he's sitting there in the third position. You could see him coming around.
So right now, everybody's just trying to find their spot to get on the train. Anybody who leads early on is very brave. They're setting the pace.
We do have a couple pacers here. We have Julian Flores and Futsum Zeneselassie that are setting the pace.
Behind the Pacers. Anybody who chooses to be in the front when the Pacers pop off.
Yeah, where do you want to be exactly in the 10K at this point? We're coming through right around 2:14 for the 800 meters.
That's
so
pretty
right
fast. Yeah, that's great.
Right on pace.
Honestly, depending on what your goal is, obviously, but being just tucked in as close as you can to the rail and not, expending any more energy than necessary, and having room to run when the break happens, which is going to be in a little while. I'd say Ben's in a really good spot in fourth right there behind the Pacers. You just want to turn your brain off and run.
That's what they say.
Just turn it off.
So they say that you want to shut your brain off for the first half of this race, but you were telling me an interesting tidbit about the 10,000 when it really starts to hurt. And
yeah.
When is that?
See, I've never personally run a 10K, so I tried to get some intel from some of my friends. Parker Stinson ran a lot of 10Ks back in the day, and he was hanging with us today. I said, Parker, at what point? There's inevitably a point in every race where you just start feeling bad.
What is that?
And he said at the 4-mile mark, you have 2 miles left to go. You've reached the 5K. You've kind of had that surge of adrenaline from getting through the 5K. 4 miles, you start realizing this is real. I have 2 miles left to run, and my legs feel like lead. So, these guys are just holding on, waiting for that pain to set in. And when they get to that final mile, they'll be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But inevitably, this is a long time to be on the track running this fast. So they're gonna be feeling it for a while.
Yeah, you want to shut your mind off for a while and let the real racing start at the end, and hopefully you can get yourself through there at ease and ready to go, ready for the competition to start. But we are coming up on the 1600 mark here, so the first 4 laps of this 25 laps adventure, and they're coming up to the line. We can see them crossing us here. This is Futsum Zeneselassie in the front, and they're right through around 4:28, which is where you want to be.
Yep.
That's exactly 67s.
They're doing a perfect job. Being a pacer is really tough. You feel like you have the weight of everybody behind you on your shoulders because you don't want to mess the pace up for them. So, don't underestimate what they're doing up front there because, you know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's definitely
especially to do it well. You can pace and not be.
It's a nerve-wracking thing to be a pacer for sure.
Yeah. But they're doing awesome. They're staying relaxed. Everybody's just lining up.
Lining up and passing the bricks here.
Yeah, those bricks are lovely.
So for those of you who have not watched some of our events in the past, these bricks that are lining the track are there because you need a fixture by World Athletics rules, an immovable fixture on the inside there. And there's oftentimes a rail during international competition, but these days we have to find tracks that we can use, and the bricks are a nice substitute for a rail.
Who lays those bricks down? Do you know?
Bricklayers.
Oh, we have, yeah, obviously we have bricklayers.
Yeah, bricklayers to do that. But yeah, that's why we tend to call it the brickyard out here.
Thank you. Dathan just brought me food. He is a very good coach.
All right, that looks delicious too.
Thank you. All right.
And
so we have a little break. We've got the pack that's holding on to the pace that really is committing to getting this Olympic trial standard. Another thing I learned today is if you fall off the pace and you start getting in your own head in this race, you start losing that adrenaline. It feels really, I mean, it's difficult no matter what, but it's really hard to come back when you let go of a pace. So the most important thing, especially for these guys in the first pack, is to just stay connected, cover moves, just, you know, preserve as much energy as possible, and let the pacers do the work.
Yeah, like we talked about with Laura Galvan too. You want to be a tough racer when you get to the end there.
Yep.
Well, to be able to get to the end, because it's a long way to go before we get to the end of this 10K. But if any gaps start opening up, we see Footsum pulling off to the side here, and he's letting James Moara take the lead, and that young Zag is going to the front and fearless.
Attaboy.
Look at him go.
Sitting in third is Ben Eidenschink. He is currently unsponsored, but he's running really, really well right now. He went to the University of Wisconsin, does a lot of his training up at altitude with us, and we're expecting him to run really well. And he's obviously biting off the pace and being fearless, so.
A Big Ten man.
A Big Ten boy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He's also dating my teammate, Alicia Munson.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Alicia Munson's boy. Friend.
Alrighty.
Bert, they have a dog named Bert, Bert's dad, so.
So we got Lou Serafini in there too, in the Tracksmith uniform.
There he is.
And they're passing right now, 7:55. All right, and that is 2,800, and they were roughly 7:53 for that. So you want to be 7:50 pace at 2,800. So the
they
pace
have some seconds to make up.
It's lagging slightly, but not terribly here.
It's not something they can't come back from, for sure.
If you set yourself up nicely in a 10K here, there's room to close in those final laps.
I mean, it's probably best to be just slightly behind pace through the 5K and then close your second 5K hard, you know, as opposed to going out too hot and then dying into it.
Yes. And we are coming up to 3,200 here, and the 3,200 mark that they want to be hitting is around 8:57. So we'll see what they are here if they've gotten back on.
59.
And they're right about 9 minutes.
So there's still 3 seconds.
Right about 9 minutes with James Moara at the front there, pushing the pace. So there's a gap forming there right after Lou Serafini.
Yep.
So we want to make sure that we close that up.
This is what we were talking about. If you don't bite onto these gaps, cover them, that's when you start to fall off the pack and lose the race a bit.
Yes.
2 hard steps. That's what we always try to tell ourselves. Just 2 hard steps, reconnect to the pack, drop your shoulders and just keep riding the train.
2 hard steps to recouple yourself to that train. Keep chugging along.
Just oh, what do we got going on here?
We got an individual in a tracksmith uniform shooting out there.
It is hard to see who's who, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, Moara still at the front, and that was roughly 10:08 at 3,600 meters, so 10:04 is what they're looking at to be on pace for 28 flat. And Moara's doing a lot of work here.
It looks like he's going out to the outside of the lane, kind of inviting them to come past him on the inside.
He could use some help up there if the guys would. Oh, and he does get some help here.
There it is, Benjamin. There he goes.
Benjamin to the lead.
He's a brave boy.
And that's Ben Eidenschink.
Eidenschink, yep. Based out of Boulder.
A Boulder man, nice.
A Boulder boy. Was a Wisconsin boy.
So he's given James Moara some respite. More about James Moara. He ran 14 flat as a senior in high school. And he did that in Portland. So he'll need to double that tonight. And you can see Willie Milam there. Right there with the stash. We're zooming in on him. Great shot.
Oh, he won the Eugene Half Marathon in 2019. He has 2 rescue dogs, Willie Milam.
Who's this now, Ben?
Nah, Willie.
Oh, Willie, yes. He's got 2 rescue dogs. And just a great guy.
Just a good dude.
And that's James Monroe, too, behind James Moara. Or Alex Monroe, excuse me. He's based in Boulder, too, and he's with Roots Running.
Yeah, there's a lot of people based in Boulder. Oh, Alex Monroe is dating Laura Thweatt.
You have all of the dating gossip here on who's dating who.
No, actually, I do. Dathan was giving me all the information on who.
Oh, Dathan was giving you this information.
He knows everybody.
Wow. Fantastic.
Well, we'll see Laura Thweatt later.
All right, so the train keeps chugging along here, coming down the home stretch. And that's Ben Eidenschink in the front. It looks like Sid Vaughn is detached from the group now, and we come through in about 12:26. So that was a 69-second 400.
Nice.
And that was at 4,400 meters. So James Moara goes back to the front, feeling that the pace may be slipping a little bit,
yep,
and looking to push it down this back stretch.
So they're approaching the 5K, which supposedly is the point in the race where you start to feel.
At this point, when they come around next, there will be a lap from 5K right here.
Yep.
Yes. So they're right around 13 minutes with a lap to go before 5K.
Almost halfway.
And we'll be coming up on 4,800 meters when they round the bend. And James Moara, we'll see what he's been able to throw down on this split here.
Oh, we got to move. Who's this?
Making a move out here on the left.
Matthew Pieria?
And we're about 13:35, so another 69-second lap there for 4,800 meters, and in the next 200 meters we'll be getting to 5K. So this isn't, I think, the way that you want to run a 10K ideally is to negative split it.
Yes.
So this isn't out of touch right now. 28 flat.
It's not bad news if they're just. I mean, if they were significantly off the pace, then yes, that'd be tough to come back from. But a few seconds, you can make that up, especially if you close hard.
We are at 14:09 through 5K. 14:09 through 5K.
All right.
So we still have James Moara at the front. They're letting the college kid do a lot of work here. James Moara, more on James Moara actually. We're giving the kid a lot of love tonight, but he deserves it for taking the front.
Yes, he does.
He ran 13:36 at the New Hayward Field. He got 8th in that race, and it was the same race that you saw Cole Hawker run 13:19.
Wow.
So Moara knows how to do some work here, and the field owes him a debt of gratitude here. Ben Eidenschenk and Alex Monroe in the second and third positions.
They all look really relaxed, especially that top 5. And they should at this point.
They should. We're early on, but we're in the latter half of the race right now.
I mean, it's definitely hurting, but I mean, they run so many miles. 10K guys, we get done with our workouts and we think that we've spent it all, and then 10K people inevitably have to go out and do, 1, 2, 3 more reps of whatever we did. And I'm always amazed by how hard these men and women work to be ready for this event. They're running hard for a long time.
10K is a tough life.
Yeah.
And that's 15:51 there. So that's 5,600 meters.
It's a bit off, isn't it?
It is. It's about 11 seconds back from what they need right now, or maybe slightly over 10 seconds. They wanted 15:40.8. But again, it's not something that can't be overcome.
It's not, but somebody's definitely going to have to make a move and commit to the pace. And I think Mora's a bit fatigued. It's just hard to lead for that long. Ideally, Ben or somebody else in the field would give him a break and pick it up a little bit and help him along.
We'll need a hero to emerge.
We need a hero. Which one of you is going to be the hero?
Who's stepping up here, men?
It's hard to with, typically you have a crowd and coaches and people giving you a lot of cues on where you're at pace-wise, and, meets are different these days, and so most of the time it feels like you're just in your own head. What was that?
That was 17 minutes through 6K there, so that was another 69-second lap. So 69-second laps they're running right now when they need to get down to 67s.
Yep. But it's just hard to get out of that time trial mentality when you're in experiences like this. But everybody's learning to adapt to the new racing structure, and here we go.
And it looks like, in the red half tights, that is Patricio Castillo. And he's making a move to the front and helping out James Moara.
That's the hero.
This is the shot of adrenaline that we need in this race right now. So Castillo is now, he's jumping up there and he's gapping, he's creating a little gap for himself, it looks like.
That's what we need.
And Joel Rischow of the Minnesota Distance Elite has been hanging up there too. He's the man with the great flow that you see right in 5th position. That hair swinging back and forth.
Fabio. Yeah.
Yeah, Fabio. That's who that is. And he's hanging tough. He ran 13:54 at Drake, I believe.
These guys better bite on this. This is their only opportunity to get close.
And Castillo's been looking good for a while. We've been seeing him bump out. He was starting out way off in the back early on, and then he would keep drifting out and then passing a group and slotting in. So
he seemed a bit antsy. I mean, going out into lane 2 and then tucking back in. Uh-oh, here we go.
How about it? And Rischow is coming up on the outside, and you still got Ben Eidenschenk in there too. But it's still Castillo at the front. And that's a 68-second lap. They were at 19:16 through 6,800 meters. And they want 19:02 there. So they've got 14 seconds to make up. But the field is not letting Castillo get away. And now he wants Ben Eidenschenk to take the lead. And Ben takes over for him.
Ben says, okay. This is a bold move, I mean, I would pay attention to the people sitting in 5th and 6th, honestly, right now, because they're, quiet hunters. They're just waiting for the moves.
So we're in that space right now. We're in that 2 miles to go where people have had to make some tough decisions.
Yep.
And what do you think is going through the minds of these guys in the front pack here?
I mean, I'm sure it waffles between, can I keep up with this pace? Can I do this? And then inevitably making the decision to, continue to keep biting, because I mean, you've come this far and you just got to get within, striking distance of the finish line and just give yourself a chance to run well. I mean, even if they're not going to get the standard, it's still a step forward. It's still a race,
and you got your pride on the line.
Your pride's
here
on
too.
the line, and I'm sure they want to win. I mean, it's
nobody wants to step on the line here and not vie for the win. I think.
No, you always show up and want to win.
Absolutely. So that was 20:25 at 7,200 meters. And they wanted.
They're a bit off, yeah.
They wanted 20:09 there. But we're coming up on 7,600 meters soon. So this is Ben Eidenschink still in the front, and now Castillo is he looks like he may be working a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he really.
And here we come.
It was a valiant effort.
7,600, and that was a 67-second lap. So they're clawing back to the pace that they need, but they still need to gain more change back into their purse for this.
Right.
If they want to hit this standard.
And it's hard being at the front because you don't know, especially if you haven't raced a lot of 10Ks or had the opportunity to, you don't know how to trust yourself. If you start moving too soon, you could really pay for it in the last couple laps. And I'm sure every single one of these guys near the front wants to be the person to just send it and trust their fitness, but you also have to be wise. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, Castillo hitting the bricks there a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to be careful here in the brickyard.
You don't want to be the guy to pull away from the field and then blow up. So it's a delicate balance.
So there are gentlemen in this pack here who could really take a shot at it in these final laps, and
they could, yeah. I mean, they could definitely inch closer, at least get some PRs out of it. That's always a step in the right direction. So I think in the last 2K, 1,600 meters.
And we'll see here as we come up on the split. So that pace slowed down. That was a 71-second lap there. So that was through 8K.
Uh-oh.
8K in about 22:44.
So things are starting to move. Everybody has heavy legs. This is just grit at this point.
So yeah, it looks like the pace is picking up slightly at the moment as they head down the backstretch.
Who do we have up front right now? Who's this? It's hard to tell.
Let's see here. Let's see as he comes around.
Oh, he looks lovely. He looks fresh as a daisy.
He looks sprightly, yeah.
Oh, look at that arm sleeve. And the tats. Wow.
It's very in vogue these days.
No, it looks great. He looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, he is. And that was 67 seconds for that. And Matt McClintock up front, he's a Purdue grad, another Big Ten man.
Attaboy.
Do it for the conference, sir.
Attaboy, go, go. The worst thing you can do right now is tuck in and become complacent. I think it could be a little disheartening if they know that they're that far off what they were gunning for time-wise. So
yeah,
they're going to be having some conversations with themselves mentally.
Matt McClintock, he's ran 13:58 in the 5K at the Texas qualifier, and he's run 44:41 at Gate River at the 15K in Jacksonville this year. So This 10K is sandwiched right between those two events, and he's gapping the field. You still got James Moara hanging tough up front there, right behind him. But this is McClintock, and he's got another 67.
Good job. Yeah, he just sat back and waited.
So yeah, he's right about 25 flat through 8,800 meters. And if he wants the standard, then he's got 22 seconds to make up, or to get back on pace here. But we'll see what he can do.
I mean, he's looking really strong.
There he is rounding the 200 mark, and then you still have Moara up front there.
Wow, he just keeps grinding back up, doesn't he? That's awesome.
Yeah, Moara's a tough guy, and he's gapping third place a little bit there, right back to Rischau.
Oh, this is good for him because now he's going to start lapping guys or having guys in his sight, and rather than just feeling like he's running away from a group of people, he can be running towards somebody and trying to catch as many bodies as possible.
McClintock getting locked in here. That's 26.06 for 9,200 meters, and that was a 66.8. So he's winding it up a little bit, but he needs more.
He's looking back to see if anybody's going to try to snipe him.
And McClintock might just have this in his mind to win this race right now.
I mean, unless he's really overestimated his fitness, he looks really fluid, really strong, and you can guarantee everybody in this field is feeling dead-legged, so.
Absolutely.
He's looking really good.
McClintock biding his time deep in the pack for this race. He was staying tough up there in that group, and then it broke loose. And here he is coming down the home straight.
It's almost a shame that the pace did slow a bit because he looks really, really good right now.
He does, and this is the bell lap here. So he's at 9,600. He came through in 27.12. 27.12, so we'll see what he has left. And this is the final lap. Final lap of the 10,000 meters, heat 1 here at track meet.
He's making a show of it. He's going to the arms. He's
giving it everything he has right now.
He's finishing like a miler right now.
And we'll give you a last lap split on this. We'll see what McClintock can deliver in this final 100 meters as he rounds the turn.
Go get him.
And the clock's at 27:59, 28 right now. Is that 28:05, 28:06, 28:08?
Oh, so close.
And there he is, about 28:13. And that last lap was a nice 61, 62-second last lap.
That's got to be is that a PR for him?
He's got to feel good with that race. That was well, yeah, let's check on the. So I think that's a little PR for him, yeah. He's listed here at 28:15.
Yeah, well, that's got to feel good.